Welcome to Espiritu Coffee Chats, the podcast where we blend wellness, spirituality, and business to help you live with intention and balance.
We're your hosts, Valerie and Arlene, two Latina entrepreneurs here to guide and grow with you.
In celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, we're honored to sit down with three powerhouse Latinas who are truly making waves here in San Diego. Each of these mujeres brings her own perspective, her own story, and her own way of creating community and purpose. They're thought leaders, change makers, and inspirations that pave the way for the future generations. So in this episode, we chat with Jasmine, who is the founder of Biz Bitches Community, Pam, who is the creator of Café con Pam podcast and empowers Latinas for the past 9 years through conversations, community, and retreats. And lastly, we have Laura, the founder of With Realty Purpose. This conversation runs about 90 minutes, so we wanted to give you a little heads up, but trust us, every minute is filled with wisdom, inspiration, and real talk that will leave you feeling proud and empowered. Grab your cafecito, settle in, and join us as we celebrate these three chingonas doing incredible work within our community. Jasmine, I'm super excited to have you with us today. We wanted to bring you on because you are a powerhouse. You're also a fellow projector. Are you a 1-3 projector too?
No, I think I'm 1-4.
Oh, no. You're 2-4. 2-4, yes.
2-4.
I was like,
yeah.
No, girl, you got it wrong.
Yeah, it's like I'm 2.
But you're splenic authority?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So me and Jasmine are very similar. So you do so much in the fact that you're very community based. You're all about supporting women, specifically entrepreneur women. So we would just want to dive deeper and get to know you more because we are honoring various Latinas who are game changers here in San Diego. So we're excited to have you.
Thanks so much. I'm super excited about today.
Yay. Okay. So you describe yourself as a biz bitch / bestie, community queen. What experiences shaped the creation of the Biz Bitch membership that I actually am a part of as well?
Yeah, I think my whole entire life has shaped the experience of what Biz Bitch was meant to be and what I was supposed to do in the world of community. I've moved a ton growing up from every big point in transition in my life, from like middle school to high school, college. And every time I moved, I dove into community and networking pretty quickly, even at a young age when I didn't fully realize what I was doing. And it was just to not be alone and realize that you need community and women specifically to feel alive and feel connected to people around you. And so I really think growing up and building those little micro communities in every place I lived, and especially when I lived abroad in Australia, really told me the story that I needed to kind of continue, that I needed to create a place for women to not feel so alone and in my own tone, because there's lots of communities out there, but the way I'm doing it is different than the way others are.
I love that. You also have an experience with like event planning and stuff too, right?
I do. Yeah, I do. I do have a really big background. I wanted to be a wedding planner, which, after a year working in weddings, I was like, absolutely not. This is not my world. I'm not supposed to do this. Like, it is fake. There's too much money going around that people can't afford. This is not my world. And so I really started going more into like corporate events. And then I hit this niche of working in women's-led organizations, girls in tech, business chicks. And I was like, what is this world when women support each other rather than bully each other? And I'd say growing up, I actually saw more bullying than I did lifting each other up. I never forget, I was a bully once, and it hurts my heart to know. In middle school.
I love that you admitted that. Yeah. It's really hard for people to sometimes say that because there's a big stigma around it. But at the same time, I think you learn a lot too.
It is. And I don't want to hide from it. And I feel awful for what I did when I was younger. But then it was quickly after that, I was like, I don't want this anymore. And so I actually pulled myself out of traditional public high school because I was like, it's either you had to be popular to just get by or get picked on and, live a really rough life. And I was like, there has to be something else outside of this. So I ended up homeschooling myself and then going into more of a charter art school, which is where I really found my community and my sisterhood. And then working for women-led organizations, I was like, oh, wait, there is a space where we can lift each other up. There is a space where women are doing good with each other. And I just want to keep echoing that in my life.
I love that. Okay, so moving on. You're passionate about streamlining chaos into clarity. And you're all about, your title is Sexy Systems. That's like something that you preach. You're really good at it. I mean, Valerie and I have both either worked with you or got so much advice on, and also that's part of being a projector is like guiding people, but also like really understanding systems and creating systems for others. So the fact that you use it for entrepreneurs and for women is like chef's kiss, because I know even I'm a projector and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Jasmine, help me.
I mean, look, I also have moments where I'm like, well, how am I really the one teaching and guiding this? What is my life right now? But yeah, I think for me, I say sexy systems because, you know, I think as entrepreneurs, we're attracted to brand, social media, all the sexy parts of what we do, right? And often the operations are left behind. But when I started like looking into brands and bigger women that I admire, they always went back to like their operations. You got to be like dialed in on your operations. And I was like, well, no one really talks about that. And also it's not very cute to talk about and it's not fun to talk about. And so that's kind of where the sexy systems came from. You changed my life with the projector thing. I was like, oh, I meant to do this. This is really my love language. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so, yeah, that's kind of the world. So I really focus in now on others trying to build community and membership and helping them establish those systems and strategy. Before I was really a broad net of just like service providers in general. But I've really found like the two together is where my secret spot is.
Yeah, I love that. I felt like you were trying to figure out who is the sexy systems for. And then this next year, I feel like you really stepped into actually what really serves me and lights me up. And then it makes you excited to work with. And then you're so about community. So that also makes a lot of sense. And you do great at it. Like you're really great at bringing people together, about empowering them. And then also you want to do the back end behind the door stuff.
I do.
The sexy stuff. The sexy stuff.
I just want to make our lives easier. Like I think, you know, a lot of us talk about balance and fun and wanting to create this life as an entrepreneur where we actually get to enjoy it. And in the end, we can't do it all. So the way we can do it all is with systems and automations to allow us to do it.
So with sexy systems, right, and biz bitches, that sounds very, to me, when I hear, ooh, biz bitches, sexy systems, that sounds you're attracting a certain woman who really identifies with that, which is me being one of them. So talk about like what made you marry those two together.
I think I'm lucky that I love brand and understand brand. And I also knew that I hated corporate life. I hated everything about it. Even in high school, I was breaking rules with like dress codes. I was like, you tell me how to dress. I'll tell you how I want to dress.
Same. I was like, let me wear my tube top to school.
Like you can't tell me I can't be smart and dress a little bit slutty. I can do both. And so growing up, I just always kind of bent the rules that way. And then becoming an entrepreneur, I was like, well, who says I have to wear a suit jacket just to be in like an operations role? Or who says I have to use this certain language? Like, what if I just made my own language around it and showed up the way I authentically want to show up in order to build this business? And who I attract. And I joke all the time. If someone comes up to me at a networking event and they go, oh, you're the owner of Biz, and I'm like, Biz bitch. And if they can't say the word back to me, it typically for me is not a good alignment. And then being in the community, because if they can't say the word bitch and they feel like it's just like condescending, then they're probably not the right fit for me. But if they're like, oh my God, you're the owner of Biz Bitches, I'm so excited. I'm like, she's our girl. Like she's the one for this world.
Right. Yeah. When I heard Biz Bitch, I was like, my brain did not even go there. I was like, hell yeah, I'm that bitch.
Yeah.
Like it was more empowering.
It's empowering. And that's how I want it to be. I want it to be an empowering word. And I asked to collaborate with another community once and she said no. Because she said she didn't like the word, what it meant towards women and all, and all that went on and on. And I was like, I don't think we're aligned and that's okay.
Right. Yeah. That's fortunately the patriarch took that word and really used it in different ways. So that kind of leads us into a great question. How has your identity as a mixed Latina, white and Native American entrepreneur influenced your journey and perspective on business, especially because we are honoring Latinas? This is, Hispanic Heritage Month, and we all have at least maybe face adversity sometimes at being a woman of color or even somebody who is multiracial. Yeah. And I know my husband, because my husband's multiracial as well. And so he always feels like he has one foot in two different doors and paths, and and everybody's like, pick a side, and it's hard to do that. So how do you feel that has played out for you when it comes to being, one, a woman entrepreneur, and then two, building a community? Yeah.
I couldn't agree more with what your husband says, and feeling like you're kind of halfway in both, and almost that I don't fully belong to either side sometimes. I step into my white side of my family, and I would say I grew up a little bit whitewashed for sure. In Washington State, and primarily white community, there's pictures of us in school, little ones, and it's like me, one girl from Africa, and then a little boy that was Chinese. And then that was it. That was the color that was represented in my like school pictures. And so when my parents tried to teach me Spanish, I was like, no, I don't know. What's this language? I'm going to get made fun of. I don't want
to go to ESL class.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, no one else is speaking this language. And so I don't know if I want to pick it up. I had Mexican nannies. Like my mom tried so hard and I was fighting it because it's just, I didn't feel like I was belonging in the world that I was getting raised in. Now living in San Diego, I really regret that I didn't try and pick it up more, but it's definitely, and then on my Latina side, it's my dad's side. So my dad was Native American, so I'm Lipan Apache, and then I'm Mexican on that side. My mom is blonde hair, blue eyes, and very white. And on that side, I don't feel like I belong either, mainly because I'm 36 years old, no kids, no marriage, right? I've got a lot of cousins and a lot of women that had kids really young, and also who've never left that world. They're all based in Central California, and a lot of them have never even left the state of California.
Right.
And it's such a crazy world to me to know that world is still out there and that I'm that close to them, and that they still don't see the opportunities and the politics that they get very confused about.
Yeah. First generation.
Yeah. And so it has affected my business, because to say that I was going to go out and build a full Latina community wouldn't have felt right to me either. It would have felt like I was being fake to go out there and say I'm building one. So I am actually constantly on this like battle of making sure that one of everybody is in my community as much as possible, and feeling like this balance of everyone as much as I can. And I'm constantly looking at photos and things I'm putting up and at events. And if I'm at an event and I'm the only brown person, I'm like, okay, what's happening here? What am I doing wrong here? Or are they relating to me so much, not realizing that I am Mexican, or feel safe spaces, or if I go too much another way. So it's a really weird battle for me because I am mixed. And I've even tried to go to the Latina chamber, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I fit in here. I don't speak Spanish. And they instantly try and speak Spanish to me. And I'm like, oh, I'm an imposter in my own community. I hate this. But I don't want to feel that way either.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm like Mexican, and I mean, I feel that, and I don't even speak Spanish. So,
Same.
So I'm like, great.
Yeah. I mean, people come up to me and my mom, because my mom's white, and they start speaking Spanish to me. And my mom's fluent. She grew up in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, she'll go back at them and they look at me and she's like, yeah, sorry, she's white. They're like, what happened here?
Yeah, that's interesting. But I feel like what you said is the same thing that my husband kind of echoes too. And I think that just that perspective of being biracial allows you to be more conscious and aware, especially if you're creating community and stuff, with that awareness of, hey, not everybody feels like they fit in. And so you're always trying to find other ways to feel welcome, for other people to be welcomed, because you know what that feels like.
I guess, I'm trying to find other common things that we can feel like we're aligned on, or feel like we can relate on, or support each other in. And because then there's the native side of me, which is a whole undiscovered side, I'd say. That's like another piece that I have, because I'm not fully Mexican. I am Lipan Apache, which is from Texas. And I've got ancestors and ancestors who, there's a whole world I haven't even dove into discovering yet. I tell myself that's going to be my retirement project, I'm just going to really dive into that side of me.
Yeah. I think that really does help. I had a client when I was designing her home and using her astrology chart and human design. And I always try to bring in like ancestry as well, because that's important for you to feel it in your home. So she told me what part that her family was from. And I think they're from Mississippi. So I went on Etsy and I found the whole map of the ancient back in the day. And she was like so happy. And then she sent me her final pictures the other day. And then I saw the map. And I was like, oh my God, it made my heart so happy. So that's awesome that you try to be open-minded about it, but also still trying to identify yourself and just feeling, you can adapt the spaces that you create to be more inclusive and also be aware of diversity as well.
Yeah, it's really important to me, because I walked into events and felt like I didn't belong. And
Same.
I know what that feels like. And especially where there's a bunch of male that are white, but that's a whole nother thing in the tech industries.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've walked in those spaces and been like, oh wait, I look different and I feel different in this space. And I don't want others to feel that way.
Perfect. Before I pass you to Val, our other co-host, I want to ask you one specific question about how has being a projector and knowing that helped you create, because projectors the myth is that I would say the myth, but we should probably still stay true to it, is that you have 3 hours a day of active hardcore work. So how do you honor your energy as being a projector and always being around others, right? Yeah. Others probably have their sacrals defined. So how do you manage just that factor of knowing that you're a projector?
Yeah. One of them is boundaries in terms of my schedule. It is a really big, I can't come off calls and go into deep work. I struggle because of just like the energy switches and I feel so depleted. Mm-hmm. So on a day where I have calls, I do 2 days a week calls. And then even after like my events where I'm leading, I'll put calls after that because I'm in the energy and I'm going. And then that night I'm dead smart. To the world. But I can't like go after a bunch of calls. Even like today doing this, it'll take me a minute to switch into a deep work mode. I don't do good switching. Also, 3 hours a day. I mean, some days I'd question if it's 2 hours a day, to be honest, of how much energy I have to do. But I've really tried to look at things and when I'm adding things to my plate, be like, is that necessary? Do I need to be doing this? And as I've grown a team, say, how do I teach them to do this? Or how do I trust them to do this? And that's even more right now. I've just doubled my team and I'm really going through everything I do each week and be like, am I doing that because I'm nervous and scared someone can't do it? Or am I doing it because I actually need to do it?
Right. Oh, I love that. All right. Well, this was fun.
Yes.
And the party continues.
It's now my turn to finish off the interview. I'm so excited. Okay. I loved what you shared. And I think it just will tie in so perfectly into the next question and round us out a little bit more. So you've spoken about breaking generational barriers to success, like even something so simple as like leaving the state, leaving the town. So what does that mean to you and how do you see it play out in your community?
Yeah, I think I've broken them even more to the fact of never having children and making a choice to have a hysterectomy, which in my Mexican side is heavily Catholic. And so for them, they just were like, what are you doing? This is such a big decision. And the fact that I've made this decision and I'm proud. And it was a big one to break that. And even how I show up in my community that way, my community will never be a mom's group. It can't be a mom's group. I'm not a mom. I make space for moms. I love my mom friends. I love what I can build for them. But I've gotten asked, will you start a mom's biz bitch? And I said, I'm sorry, that doesn't feel authentic to me. And you really have to stay in community. It's so easy with everything to get like shiny object syndrome. Oh, that community is doing that. Oh, she's doing that. She's doing that. And it's easy to be like, oh, I want to do all those things. But I have to look back and think of like, who am I? What is our community? And what do we stand for? And how do I want to build this? And what are the foundations that I've built? Not what are others doing or what sometimes do my members want, not understanding who I am.
Yeah. And I like how you said that like although it's not a mom community, you still support moms, because I think if you think about it at its core, like the sexy systems that you're building, that you're teaching people to build, give them free time so they can spend with their families.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Everything I do is trying to give them back time to pour into their lives, their families, their little ones. And same with the community. I try and build these events that allows them a space to step away from their family, take care of themselves and nurture themselves, and not necessarily nurture their families. It's nurturing all the other sides of them.
I love that. I remember when I'm also not a mom. It's Arlene's role.
I would say every mom needs an auntie.
Like, oh my gosh, I love that being balance. Auntie.
Yeah, same. I do too. I've got all the energy. I've got time. My schedule's a lot more flexible.
Yes. Yeah. I had my niece for 5 days like this year on her summer break or spring break or something. And I was like, wow, kudos to all of the moms. Kudos Arlene, because I just don't know how you operate. Like these kids have so much energy. I'm like, girl, can you give me a 5-minute nap, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just finished running. But yeah, I think, and the Mexican side, like we're choosing not to have kids as well. And I remember when my parents when we told them, they were not about it. How did that conversation go for you?
So my mom at first was like, a little bit jolted about it, but she always said she wasn't sure about her journey either. She only wanted one, and my dad wanted one, and so she had one. And then her mom's not that maternal either. So I think it does come through. But of course, every now and then she sees my best friends who are like family with little ones. And she's, are you sure? And I'm like, woman, you travel more than I do. You ain't about to step into grandma role either. So like this becomes a package deal. And if you ain't in, I'm not in. So yeah, no, she's really supportive. I'm really thankful. My dad was already pretty sick on the way of me making these kinds of decisions, but he also supported that. A lot of my aunts and stuff are questioning me always, until recently. Now they literally just can't, and they realize that question is like, we're done with that one at the Thanksgiving table, no more. But I feel like everyone's been really supportive.
Nice. And was that a conversation you had with your partner early on?
Yeah, first date. First date. I put it on my Hinge dating profile, which is how we met, but still I feel like people are a little blurred lines with that. And I said, I don't want to get married and I really don't want kids. So if this is something you think you're like, you just put on your profile for funsies or like you were questionable about, we should walk away, because this is like a really hard decision in my life. And I've known since I was about about 23, 22, that was something that I wasn't wanting to do.
Nice. I just caught that you said you're also not wanting to get married. Oh, can you explain if you don't mind?
No, yeah. I believe in love until there is no more love, but I definitely don't want to be with someone and be miserable for 10 years just because I'm married to them.
For sure.
There's a lot of life to live. I see a lot of elder people who like aren't living their last years of life with joy and happiness. I want a lifetime partner. The construct of the old school marriage isn't for me. I got a really brief window of it when I lived in Australia, and to get paperwork living in Australia, I had to marry somebody. Oh. But it wasn't marriage, it was called like a de facto. Okay. So somebody de factoed me, and it was just such a paperwork process of going in, sign here, do you want this last name? And I was like, I don't think this means we love each other. And obviously I'm not with him anymore, so it didn't mean we loved each other. It was just a piece of paperwork. It's not part of my journey, but I want that forever, as long as forever means happy.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful, because marriage, I think in today's day and age, what America has made it to be is not always love.
Yeah. Maybe I'd feel different if I lived in Italy or Spain. I always say there's a potential that my life could look different if like I grew up in other countries. Mm-hmm. But I think America, going into a marriage in debt, like as a wedding planner, people would be like, here's 4 credit cards to pay for my $60,000 wedding. And I'm like, girl, do you want to add this stress? And then the mother-in-laws, and there's just all this craziness. And I'm like, is this day even really about the two of you loving each other anymore? Right. Or is this just about the show that you feel the need to put on? So it's not for me. But if I was in Italy and grew up in Italy, it might be different, because my Dutch best friend, their rings are tiny. They typically buy a house, have a baby, then get married. It's a very different construct than the way we have it here and what the fairy tale movies tell us we need to do.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Snaps. Let's go. We're going to change the world in their view on marriage and business and everything. Okay. Let's jump to the next thing, which is a completely different topic. We got a little sidetracked there. What's one mindset shift or practice that helps ambitious women grow their business without burning out?
I think a mindset shift, just in general, money mindset, and start there. When you were starting to become an entrepreneur, the first day you start your website, like start doing some money mantra work. I think that comes out more in us specifically as women, just because the way we've grown up and what we've been told, more than in men, to work on that. So it's for me a practice I have to work on, because I had very poor, grew up with poor, still really struggle with that side. And so that is one of the biggest mindset things that I'm constantly doing. So like affirmations, EFT tapping, looking at my numbers and not being scared of them.
Nice.
Is like one of my biggest practices that I do in terms of my world. But also remembering too that we built these businesses to walk away from our computers and our desks and see the world. So say yes to the lunch, say yes to the coffee, say yes to those things that take you out of that 9-to-5 grind, because we don't have to. We all know we're working late and we're working weekends and we're making up those hours. So like, what if you could say yes to a few more fun things in traditional working hours?
Wonderful. I just thought about how you were talking about implementing boundaries and systems earlier, and I thought about your automatic responder email and how you're like, hey, I only check emails like this many times a week. and this is what I'm doing. Like, I'm living,
Yeah.
and here's how you can get in contact me with if you really need it.
Yeah. The autoresponder is the quickest, simplest, freest system. Put a autoresponder on, a few ways to book a time with you. Say, I don't check emails every day. You can't get a hold of me right now, and watch what happens.
And I love that because I think it also adds into like the money mindset and just general mindset work and overall, because they all go hand in hand. If you're not giving yourself time to fix that money mindset, then you're just going to go in this endless loop.
I feel as all of us, when we have space to let ourselves be creative and really fill into our businesses. And for me, it was when I had my hysterectomy, I had so much time off. I was like, what feels right? What doesn't feel right? What am I wanting to shift here? What am I wanting to do here? And when you're just in the grind, you don't really have that space to see what you're actually feeling and wanting to develop and create.
What has been like the biggest change either in your business or your mindset now after your hysterectomy?
So that is where I really leaned into only doing community and membership systems.
Okay.
I pulled away and said, who do I enjoy working with the most and helping and getting on the calls with? And like, where do I really light up and feel, does it feel super easy? That was a big change. Doubling my size of my support team and trying not to be the bottleneck has been the hardest one, because my original like VA team supported me more, if that makes sense.
Yes.
My marketing, my social media, my emails, but really didn't touch a ton of client work. And so this new team is coming in to support more client work. And that seems a lot scarier than my own work.
Yeah, having your minions do this for you. Yes.
Yeah.
It's that ultimate
I'm sure it's for you
release.
watching them make a coffee. You're like, oh.
Girl, I'm like, can you do at least this to the foam? If you didn't foam it.
Yeah, exactly. But you're like, all the other things, you're like, sure. But it's like that craft, which makes it you, is just, it's so hard for me to let go of.
Yes. And if you're not familiar with Jasmine's work, she will also teach you how to hire a team and give them all the systems that they need in place.
Yes.
So like she's living in what she is speaking, which I think is just a great inspiration for so many of us and why we love coming to you, and literally sexy systems to a T. Like
Yeah.
it's perfect.
So even with this new team, they are incredible. And I've watched them work with others. But the way they're onboarding me, I'm like, I see why people struggle. I even know what I'm talking about, and I'm overwhelmed because they're just a virtual assistant team and they're incredible once they're in it. But the onboarding part, and I was like, I can only imagine how all the other clients they're bringing in and then all the other virtual teams are feeling when they don't have the skill I have. Just like the way they were like, oh, well, get this code. What do you want to work on? What do you want to work on? No questionnaire, no like anything. And I was just like, I don't even know. Yeah, help guide me. Like they're not really doing that guiding part. And so that for me was a big one. I was like, oh, I really need to keep leaning into this part.
Yeah, I think it's so important and something that not many people really think about up front until, and honestly, even sometimes after they've launched whatever courses, businesses, they don't go back to visit it.
No.
And it's not until you're on the other side that you're like, ooh, is this mine too?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go into some rapid fire questions so we can like close this out on a little fun note. So what is your favorite grounding practice?
I would say my favorite grounding practice is a gratitude journal. Yeah. When I'm feeling out of balance, and as often as I can, I come back to a gratitude journal and try and do 5 to 10 things I'm grateful for, even those days where I don't feel like I have anything, or, just the world hates me. Just even like being like the butterfly outside, or those small little things. That's one for me that reminds me how grateful I am to be on this journey, even though it's hard, and even just in life in general.
Do you do it daily? What kind of frequency are you typically doing?
So I go in phases of when I need it. I get really overwhelmed if I have too many wellness practices, and then it'll be like noon and I haven't done any work, but I feel really damn grounded and like really good balance. I've meditated, I've done the journals, I've worked out. So I always say I have this toolkit, and in the morning it's whatever tool I needed. So am I working out? Am I journaling and meditating, EFT tapping? Like, what's my tool?
Yeah, I like to highlight the frequency because we are all fed this thing of you need to do a morning meditation and a yoga, and then you need to give praise to everybody, all the gods and goddesses, and that's going to take you 2 hours, and then you can get to work.
Plus, you need to meal prep and eat healthy and love your friends, and I'm like, ooh, I can't do this all.
Yeah.
And some days I'm just in an era of work where, to be honest, it does get dropped, all of it, just because my brain is so happy in that work, and that's okay too.
Yeah. I was just thinking how sometimes things get dropped, and I was like, yep, that was me yesterday. Yeah. All the dishes are still in the sink.
Yeah. And it happened.
What is one mentor or ancestor or celebrity who inspires you?
My dad is a big inspiration, the having fun. He passed away 6 years ago now when he was only 62 years old from Alzheimer's and dementia. And I think we're fed, when you're retired, you can start living life again. When you're retired, you can spend the money, you can travel, you can, you work until this moment. But that was a big sign for me that we're not guaranteed that moment. And so he worked so hard and worked in general contracting, we're entrepreneurs, and I wouldn't say and got to enjoy life to the fullest up until that point. And so for me, it's a big thing that when I get really busy and I'm not enjoying life and I'm telling my boyfriend, my friends, and I'm like, nope. I'm like, wait, I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. I'm not guaranteed next week. I need to take some more moments in every day to actually enjoy life, because those in the end are the ones I'm going to remember, not my business.
That's so beautiful. I think especially being a business owner, we get so caught up in what's right in front of us that we forget there's like a whole world out there that we actually need to enjoy.
It's as simple as like taking a walk, having a coffee, or going to lunch with a girlfriend on a Friday and taking your laptop there. I think we're so often to say no to that kind of stuff, and even the vacations or the trips. And yeah, just knowing that my dad didn't get to do a lot of those things that he wanted to do or said he was going to do or we were going to do. And so I want to be able to do them.
That's beautiful. I think that's a great way to honor him and his memory.
Yeah.
And you get so much joy out of it. Like, I think joy just spreads so far, and the love, you can feel it.
Yeah.
So, final rapid fire question. What is one quote that keeps you hustling or working or inspired, I should say? Not maybe hustle is not the greatest.
Sometimes you got to hustle. I'm not against hustling sometimes. I think one that was shared with me, and I can't remember, was that entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. There is no end. So if you're looking for the end of the hard, you're not in the right industry. You're going to find a new set of hard and a new set of challenges at every kind of dip and rise. And you just got to start enjoying the entire process rather than just waiting until this just needs to get over. This has to get over. I can't do this anymore. It's like, what can you learn? What can you enjoy out of those moments? Because at every set and every stage of everything we do, another hard is coming.
Amazing. Yeah. Agreed. 100%. I feel that in every inch of my bones.
Yeah.
Are there any events or programs, or how do people find your community? Let's do some promo.
Yeah. So my website, so you can find the website either sexybizsystems.com. So it's two Z's on the biz, or you can find it at bizbitchcommunity.com. Same with Instagram, bizbitchcommunity, or my name, which is Jasmine with a Z, M Cornejo. In terms of events, BizBitch, we have events every week. And so we just launched September, but honestly, every week you can find a different way to connect with us. I don't like the word network because I feel like that feels transactional, but you can find a way to hang out with us. We've got fun things of going to a winery in Temecula this month, Barbie Cafe. There's coffee and community that happens every month. We go on boats, we go on beaches. So yeah, you can always look at the calendar and find something in a way to connect with us. And then the Biz Bitch podcast we're almost there, but I'm giving myself my birthday, which is October 26th is my launching date. So on October 26th, my Biz Bitch podcast will be launched. And it's really a place that I want to start to continuing telling stories of the women in my community and getting to know them on a deeper level, but also understanding how life has affected whatever they do in terms of whatever their craft is. So whether that been like friendships, breakups, divorces, money, all the different sides of being a woman inside being an entrepreneur.
Amazing. You heard it here first, y'all. I'm so excited. I don't know if you actually heard it here first, but we're just saying that.
I haven't said much about it just because I was working out all the kinks, but we're there. I'm ready to go. Yeah.
I can't wait. Launch party?
Yes, there'll be a little launch party. Plus, actually, September is 1 year of Biz Bitches. So I'm at a 1 year anniversary. So it goes hand in hand.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yay. Lots of good things coming. So you guys got the websites, you got the socials, you got all kinds of events and opportunities to visit Jasmine, learn about the work that she does even more in depth, connect with other women in the Biz Bitch community. It's such a wonderful group. So varied and diverse in terms of industries and like type of people. So I think everyone should go check it out, especially if you're an entrepreneur, because you just get so much value from each other. Like everyone shares openly. You don't always get that. So it's really nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for being on our podcast.
Thanks for having me. I had so much fun.
I'm so excited. We'll go into our next interview and we'll see you guys hopefully soon on the next episode. All right. We're here with Pam Covarrubias from Cafe con Pam, and we're so excited because she's graciously joined us for Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're just like so hype. We're going to jump into some amazing questions, not super deep dive because we don't have all day, although we would love to spend all day with Pam. And if you,
part 2 coming.
Yes, right. If you do get a chance to be on Pam's podcast or listen to her podcast, please do it. We'll be sharing all those details soon.
Yes. And you are like such a powerhouse. I remember when you first started doing podcasts, maybe like 7 years ago, at least when I knew that you were doing it.
9.
Okay. Yeah. It's been a long time. And I mean, for you to be shouted out by Oprah, like, hello, that is my dream. So
I cried when it happened.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I would cry, shit my pants. Like I would do all the things like, So that's awesome. So kudos to you. We're so excited to have you. And all the things that you do for our Latina community. Like you are such an inspiration. You really do healing transformational work. And so we're just really excited. And you were one of the first people that Val and I were like, who can we interview that is really powerful, that is like so in alignment and has really created an impact. And we've been to your events. We listened to your podcast. So girl fanning over here.
That's right. You've been to my events.
Yeah.
To a few of them. That's awesome. Thank you for supporting.
Yeah, no.
Thank you for the invite.
You support others by just providing a space where you can peel the onion with stories and also share your perspective and your healing journey and other healing journeys. And that alone is what helps other heal. One of the things that I learned about trauma is that trauma needs to be recognized, but it also needs to be supported. And the only way to support that is through community. So people don't do well if you have trauma and you're trying to figure it out all by yourself. So you have to like deal with it with the community. And that's helpful because things like this, right? Podcasts, like, you're not alone. You can listen and you can be like, I don't know how many podcasts I've listened to. And yours is one of them where I'm like, oh my God, like I thought I was the only one. Yes. And no, you're not. But it's also just hearing people's powerful stories. And so I think that's also inspired us to do our podcast too. So yeah, you're definitely an inspiration. So we're going to start out with a few questions, just a couple.
Just a couple? Okay.
Just a couple. So can you share your journey and what inspired you to start?
Well, 9 years ago. It's actually about 12, 13 maybe years ago. I was traveling a lot I was an executive at a company and I was doing trainings and I was traveling the country and I was listening to podcasts at the time. So this is 2013, 2014. And so a long time ago. And every time I would listen to stories, because I like to listen to interview-based podcasts, because I was traveling by myself. So I wanted to feel like I was sitting in a room with someone. That kind of like those voices kept me company. And those interview podcasts, they would never bring people like me, like us. And so I would always wonder, where are the first gens? Where are the Latinos, the Latinas, where the Latinas? Where are the people that went to college for the first time and like the first in their family to do things? Where are at the time I was a side gig person because I had a corporate job and I always had my side gigs.
Of course, you're Latina, like, hi. Always have
of course. I'm a manifesting generator.
So there you go. There's that too. Oh, dang, double.
I have to have multiple things.
Yeah.
But nobody looked like me. And so for years, I waited for someone to come up with the idea to have interviews and to interview people like me. And I waited a few years. And that never came. Then I came across Latina podcasts. So there were 4 at the time when I started back in 2016. There were 4 Latino-based podcasts. They were all co-hosted and they were all very conversationalist. So not interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, when are someone going to come up with this? And so having dinner with a friend, I was like, maybe it's my thing. I've been waiting for these conversations to happen and I want to learn more from people and I don't hear it. I don't find it. So maybe it's something that I need to do. And I wanted to be over coffee because I'm from Mexico City. And so in Ciudad de Mexico, it doesn't matter what time it is, literally, like it could be 10 p.m. and then your friends call you and they're like, let's go get some coffee. So everything is over coffee. And we have this sobremesa. So after dinner, you always drink coffee. Like coffee's a thing. Coffee culture is a thing. And so I was like, it has to be those types of conversations over coffee. And so Henry, shout out to Henry, he was like, well, it's café con pan, obviously. And I was like, you're right. That's what it is. And so 2 weeks later, right before that dinner, actually, let me backtrack for a sec. I had put a microphone on a vision board. I had this urge to find a microphone and put it on a vision board. I didn't know if it was going to be, I didn't know what it was. It could have been public speaking. It could have been, I don't know. I was just like, I need to put a microphone. 2 weeks later, I have this dinner with Henry. And then 2 weeks later, I launched the podcast.
Wow.
Good job, Henry.
Henry
awesome.
kick-started it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was already there. He just helped you realize it.
For sure. He was my first producer, actually.
Oh my
okay.
gosh. Amazing.
Okay.
He gave you the invite to just go.
Yeah, he was like, you can't stop waiting.
Yeah, I love it.
Or you
I love
can't
your
keep
story
waiting.
too behind it. It was like the story of, ours is Espiritu Coffee Chats, right? And it's like just coffee, and that is such a common thing in the Latino culture. Like, my nana would give me coffee at like the youngest age ever,
Yes.
and it was cafe, the Nescafe, like
Sí.
the instant. It has a certain like flavor to it or whatever, and. I'm like, dude, now like our American brains are like, you can't be giving your kids coffee at like 5.
Of course.
Like, what are you doing? But no, like, it's right. Like, it's such a part of our culture for sure.
It's big.
And as part of your podcast, well, I guess also this goes a little bit into also the coaching side of the things that you do. So you also do the unmute and reclaim method. And so can you share a little bit about what it is and how does it help people reclaim their power?
Ooh, loaded question.
Yeah, right.
So I need to give some background about the unmute and reclaim method. So the unmute and reclaim method is my body of work that I came up with after working with hundreds, if not probably at this point, thousands of Latinas and first gens, lots of firsts in their family, whether it's whatever the first is. And even my own journey. I'm an eldest daughter. I have done a lot of firsts. And all of that came from me really exploring my voice and really exploring my truth and my power, and having navigated a corporate environment in the US, having had moved countries multiple times, exploring my identity and culture, and worked with people. That's when I realized what has kept Latinas as the lowest paid demographic in the United States is calladita culture. The saying that we hear, calladita, that keeps us quiet, overlooked, underpaid, overworked. And so that's a system. We need to be focused. We need to be grateful and just kind of like head down. And it's something that all Latinas have heard. Everyone I've talked to, they're like, yeah, of course I heard it. And so as I was going through my own journey and guiding my clients through their own voice and their truth and exploring their power, that's when I developed this methodology called the unmute and reclaim, which is our fight against calladita culture. And it's a 5-phase framework that basically helps people unlearn that silencing that we have grown up with, and it allows them to reclaim their truth and their power. And the 5 phases are awareness, disruption, expression, integration, and liberation. I'm a 5 in numerology, and so I feel like all my methodologies tend to be 5s.
I'm right behind you.
Nice. So the Omnium Reclaim has 5 faces. Calladita Culture has 5 wounds. The 5 wounds are silence, power, identity, worth, and commitment. And so all of the wounds, we work through them within the methodology. And the goal of that is to allow us to move through it. As Arlene said earlier, when you have trauma, you must witness it. You must see it. And so this methodology allows us to see what's there, and then we can work through it in phases. There's no rush with this. There's no timing. Everyone heals in their own time. Everyone literally has their own journey. And so that's why I like to do things in kind of like frameworks, so people work at their own pace. And the point is to not be perfect, but to allow ourselves to choose us over and over as many times as.
Amen.
I love that.
I remember when we were at your live podcast, and I think I had just learned about it, and I was like, wow, why had I never thought about this? Because like you said, like we grow up with it, and it's just one of those things like that. For people who don't speak Spanish, is like, you look more pretty when you're quiet, which is, when you say it in English, it's like, whoa. They're like, dang, we've been listening to this our whole lives. And to see it play out in different aspects of our lives, I think I hadn't paid attention to it probably ever until you mentioned it. And I was like, wow, I have so much deconditioning that I need to do in my life.
Right. Yeah. I feel like even just being at your events and thinking about my mom and her grandma, I mean, her mom, my grandma, my nana, and even my dad's mom, like all of them, like they all had that too. And just being like the first one out of the generations from them to be like, wait a minute. No, we are not doing that. I could still look cute and I could still talk. I could still have a say. And my partner and I are equal. Nobody's lower, nobody's less. So it even goes into partnerships, right? Like marriages and relationships, and, you know, using that, like your voice to speak up. And it always reminds me of the tarot card. I think it's the 8 of Swords, I think, where she has like a scarf over her mouth. And all these swords are around her. It's like, no, we are not that anymore.
Right.
We are like breaking free. And the card, I think the next card is the card of like that freedom, right? So I love that that's empowering for us as the first to second generation. Yes. So just going back to the partnerships, and even if you think about it in friendships too, you know, it is that as well. So I think when I was there and just listening to your podcasts too, one of the things too, I think when you listen to a podcast and you go in person, that is such a vibe. It's because same thing, like you have listened to podcasts forever. That's like my me time. And going to an in-person event, that's where you get to meet other people that are just like you. Because usually you're attracting your own crowd, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. So it's like, oh my God, there's this person and that I just met. And then like, we're so the same. And, oh, do you remember this episode and that episode? And so I feel like you're just a great expander. Like hopefully one day Valerie and I can, you know, have this thing. But in the long run, the whole point is to create that connection, that community. But you also share, like, you're able to practice and implement it in person, which is different because now you don't feel like you're all alone. Like, me and my caladita 5 steps
In your living room.
Right. In my living room all by myself, at the gym, in my car, picking up my kids. Okay. So going back to, we digressed. What's one powerful shift you've seen when people embrace your framework?
Well, I think it's less about them embracing the framework and them choosing to do the work. And there's a lot of powerful moments, but I think some of the most powerful, or one of the biggest shifts that I have seen, is when people choose to see their own truth as being plenty. It's not, it's like, this is enough. Right. My truth in this moment right now, up to what I know to this point, from what I will ever learn moving forward, right now, it's enough. Because we exist in a place that it rewards success and whatever that looks like. I attract high achieving people, lots of people that check the box, and they're like, I have the business, I make the millions, I have done the traveling, all the things, but there's still something. Well, it's because your truth still doesn't feel that enough, like that is enough. And there's no quantifying of it other than a choice. And I think that's really powerful when people get to choose to say, this moment right now where I am, my whole self is plenty. And that's it.
Right. I love that. It brings them back to themselves, which I think a lot of people, and it's hard to not get caught into that, our modern world. That's, all these things that what's it called? Like the diamond effect or whatever, where people are attracted to these external things to validate themselves. So your work just brings it back to the soul, back to them. And it also empowers them to be like that jefa, like, fuck it, I could say no, or no, this is me, bye, get out of here. Like I'm not playing small or big or whatever anymore. So I love that. We're going to move into some fun questions that Val will ask you.
Yes. Thanks so much again, Pam, for being on here with us. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
So we're going to go into some rapid fires. So if I had a little, I'm like,
Thanks for that.
So what's one empowering ritual that you go to?
Oh, that one's hard.
It's not coffee?
I think it's not coffee. I mean, it is coffee. It's always coffee. It's coffee. It's cacao. But I think what's coming up is to intentionally cross portals.
Ooh.
Every time you cross a door,
Ooh.
choose what that is going to take you into. Every time.
Girl.
Wow.
You just said that perfect. Because we're like in eclipse portals right
I
now.
know.
So doors are closing and opening. That's perfect.
So it has to be an intentional. I think what we forget is to live, like to truly live, not to look forward to the future, but to live in this moment. And when you live your day with intentionality, every moment, every second, every sip that you take is a ritual.
Right.
We're so disconnected from ceremony. Our life is a ceremony. Every day is a ceremony.
Oh, I just got a flashback of like the ancestors just get together in community and in ceremony.
Every day.
And it's like, the fact is that in order to get that, we have to like seek it and more than likely pay for it. But it's like,
you don't have to.
That used to be free, and it used to just be a part of your life.
Right. Yeah. We can make it part of our life.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, even my talking is disconnected from it.
Yeah, I think it's just because we've been so conditioned to be our individual selves. I think especially in America and modern society, especially in corporate America, like they just want you as your individual piece. But when we go back to, like you said, our ancestors, like that's where we really can all come together.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was so wonderful.
Of course. I don't think there's self-care without community care.
Yes.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. They are one and the same, I think. So, of course, we have to ask Pam, the host of Café con Pam, what is your go-to coffee style?
Oh, it's like asking a mom who's their favorite child.
Ooh, yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
You know?
I love them all.
Right. I know. I feel like it depends on the mood. Sometimes it really depends on the mood. If I'm going to support a local coffee shop, which is 100% of the time, the only time I go to a chain is because I'm in the middle of nowhere or I'm traveling and there's nothing else.
Central California.
Yeah. Because otherwise we have a lot of amazing choices. So if I'm going to to pay for coffee, then it's but it depends on the coffee shop. So it's either a pour over or a latte.
Wow. I love a good
That's how
pour
I
over.
gauge their like
coffiness. You definitely are testing the beans for sure.
You just want them to do work for you.
Yeah, I'm paying for it. I have my own machine at home. I can make my own things. If I'm in Mexico City, for example, then I get a café de olla.
For sure.
Yes.
Ooh, with tequila in it, yes.
I don't drink, but I'm sure that's great. I don't know if and this is like, people are going to get offended, but I don't know if I've found a good café de olla anywhere outside of Mexico.
Ooh, okay.
Challenge
I'm putting it on my mission.
You know what? Like now that I think about it, I don't really drink café de olla over here. I only have it over there in Mexico.
Yeah.
The land of the ancestors, like only over there. Because I feel like I have tried it here and I'm like, this is just regular coffee. Like this isn't.
They just add cinnamon and they call it.
Maybe they added like
Yes.
what's that allspice or whatever, or the star
Molasses.
to it. Yeah. I'm like, no, but you just reminded me of this restaurant that we went to in the Zocalo in the downtown part. so good. And all the older people were in there. And I told me and my husband, we're like, we're in the right place.
Yes. That's where you know the good is.
Yeah, where the old locals are, you know you're good. The food's going to be good. The drinks are going to be good. It's going to be fine. And yeah, we had really good cafe de olla there.
Yeah. So I don't know. This is not a rapid fire answer, but
yeah,
I would say, so if you were to ask me right now in this moment, I would go for, I would just go for Americano.
Nice.
So
Hot or iced?
Hot. I'm a pure, I have a thing with iced drinks.
Hey,
iced coffee.
fair.
Yeah.
we were just talking about that, Valerie and I, earlier. I was like, probably the only one here that still drinks hot when it's hot. Like hot coffee when it's in the middle of the summer. I'm like, no, I want it hot.
I always want it hot.
Yeah.
And people are like, especially if I pay for it, they're like, you said hot? And I'm like, yes, I said hot. Yeah. Okay. It's like 100 degrees outside. And I'm like, yes, I want it hot. Right. Coffee is meant to be hot for me.
Yes. I feel that on you.
I love it. Okay. And last one. What is one of your favorite songs?
That's another one. I'm the daughter of a musician. So, is it favorite genre? It depends.
Okay.
But the one that I am vibing with, that one I'll give you one, is Super Bloom by Mr. Wives.
I feel like I know that song and I can't
What's the genre?
It's like indie, alternative.
Okay. I think I know which one you're talking about.
That song, if I'm down for like if my main voice wants to take over, I listen to that and I'm like, bye. So one of my favorite parts of the song is when they say, it's all the lyrics, look them up and it's awesome. But when it says, when you doubt me is when I super bloom.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like
that. So good.
Yes.
I paraphrase it. I don't think that's the exact lyric, but that's basically what it
Okay,
says.
now I'm going to go. That's my school pickup. I'm pick up my kids from school today. That's going to be the song.
It's so good.
I love it.
Amazing. So where can people find you and connect with you? And is there like not a special program? They're all special, but I mean, like, is there a program that's going on right now that you would like to talk about?
So people can find me at cafeconpam.com, CAFECONPAM. It's not pan, it's pam because I am pam. And .com. So on the socials, at Cafe Con Pam Podcast, everywhere. You can find me. My face is plastered everywhere. And
good SEO, girl. Good SEO.
It's a battle.
Yeah.
SEO is a battle.
You're really good at marketing, so.
Thank you. Yeah, I teach it. It wouldn't be good if I didn't do a good job. What programs do I have? So right now, I'm closing Verano con Self-Love. So I don't know when this is going to come out, but I've decided this was the first summer. I'm gonna launch Verano con Self-Love, which is a self-love, self-paced program. It's a private podcast. So people literally listen to me give you pep talks, and they're I call them minisodes because they're literally 2 minutes or less. I literally am like, splash water in your face. You need a reset. Go to the bathroom. Splash cold water. Let's go. And so it's really simple, but I think sometimes I have another private podcast called Pam in Your Pocket, and so I only give access to Pam in Your Pocket to my clients, but I wanted to offer something kind of like that because people love it to the public. And that's how I created Verano con Self-Love. Also because summers have historically been hard. People die during the summers. It's like a thing. And this summer, another person died actually. So it's like, talk about patterns. Yeah. And so right now we're closing Verano con Self-Love, and I'm in a recalibrating pace. Gather Circle, which is my online group, is what people can check out. Probably might be open by the time this releases.
Yeah, we are. I mean, we're releasing this in Latina Heritage Month. I rebranded this.
Hispanic Heritage Month.
Nice. Rebranding Hispanic Heritage Month to Latina, making it all about me. Yeah, so definitely whatever you have going on between now and the end of the year. Then, Well, do you have any events coming up?
Ooh, I decided not to do another event this year.
Oh, okay.
Because sponsorships have been hard.
Yeah.
So
I
to
see
keep it
that.
real,
Right.
sponsors were like, we don't have any budget for brown
They're like,
people.
oh, we don't need to worry about DEI anymore.
Yeah,
So-
like brown people don't
Literally.
exist. So we don't have any money for you.
yeah.
And so what I'm working on next, which I don't think will be ready by when this is released, but it's a mastermind. I'm bringing it back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's coming
Yay.
back. Yeah, because
good.
I blend business with creativity, with spirituality, and I don't know if that exists in the way that I do it. And of course, we'll go through the reclaim
Right.
and all the things.
Yeah. Very manifesting generator of you.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course. But I can send you the link to the waiting list for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. We'll definitely add. So if you're listening, it'll be in the show links, and yeah, definitely check out all of the platforms that Pam is on. And yeah, definitely connect. You have a strong community. So I think it'd be great for our listeners to really dive deeper into your work too.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you so much. Like, seriously, so many thank yous.
Thanks for
Yeah, of
hanging out.
course.
Hello, Laura. We're super excited to have you today in honor of Latina Heritage Month. I called it Latina and made it all about us, but technically I guess it's Hispanic Heritage Month. And so we invited you on because you're a powerful, hermosa, chingona, all the things, and in your profession, which is real estate. And so you are the proud owner of With Purpose Realty, and I'm super excited to have you. So we want to ask you some questions because there's a lot of people who are really curious about real estate, and you have a career in it that's successful, you enjoy doing it, and then you also bring your purpose. So you make it like very purposeful for people to work with you. There's intention, there's mindfulness, which a person who's been licensed in the past, there's not a lot of agents who are out there wanting to change lives with just helping people buy a home and sell homes and all the fun stuff. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions. So Valerie and I will be, bouncing back and forth, asking you some things so that you can share with us your empowering story on how real estate has really helped uplevel your family. Also, how you're not a labor to your business, which I do love that. I think you really do have inspired us as your local biz besties and really feeling like, we can pursue our passion, but also enjoy life with it. So not only do you embody, your purpose with working with others, but you also want to also continue that for yourself. So you kind of like practice what you preach.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here today. And yeah, I am excited to dive in. Let's do it.
Yay. All right. So tell us about your journey into real estate. So what has inspired you to launch With Purpose Realty?
Yes. So I started in 2020, which thinking back, that was a wild time to start a new career and a new business. But yeah, so much has happened. Fast forward to today. I have been so fortunate to have helped over 100 families. And then to your comment earlier, it is very important to me to have that work-life balance. And in between those years, since 2020, I was also able to take almost a whole year off for maternity leave, which I am so, so grateful for. And as far as With Purpose Realty, I think it was very important for myself and my husband, who I work with, who's my business partner, to build something that was very meaningful. So for us, it was a business. It had to be a business that was rooted in service and impact over transactions. So that is why With Purpose Realty was born.
Oh, I love that. And what does purpose mean in your work, and how does it align with your cultural values? So I guess that's a two-part question.
Yes, yeah, totally. Purpose means a lot, but I would say in real estate specifically, I would say it means remembering that behind every deal, there's a family, there's a story, there are dreams, there's a lot of sacrifice. And for me, I came to the US when I was a teenager from Colombia, and I really saw firsthand how important stability and homeownership is for immigrant families. So purpose is also about creating opportunities for the Hispanic community, allowing them to learn about real estate, educating them about the process, and then really being there to support them through the whole process of achieving that goal, and also making sure and encouraging them to know that it is also possible for them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also love that you give them the financial like awareness of the investment that they're making. I think a lot of people buy a house just because that's what society kind of tells us to do, but it's like more than that. It's like creating legacy. It's something that's literally an investment that you can pass down, and you can also use that equity to like build, you know, even more, right? And I think you and Rob both do a really great job at educating them on their investment, not just saying, okay, here's your home. Great. Bye. Nice knowing you. It's like you cultivate that relationship and really want to see them grow and expand financially, but also giving them a home that really gives them more opportunity in life. That I think a lot of, you know, immigrant families, their whole goal is just to get here, right? They're like, let's come to America and let's get the American dream. And that part of that dream is owning a home, but also it can open up so much more avenues. Like, for example, my grandfather immigrated from Mexico here, and actually both families, but he was the one who more so invested in like properties and things like that. And he left my grandma so much inheritance and like stability when he left. And he just knew like, oh, real estate is the way to go. And that was like, I think his first investment was like in the 70s.
Wow, I
So
love that.
it's like, I think real estate isn't a small, it's not a small, it's like not a thing that, you know, you're going to plant and then just get all kinds of money in 2 years. Now in COVID, that did happen, right? There are markets that you can get that, but also it's just playing the long game,
Yeah.
you know, and really learning and knowing what you can do.
100%. For us, it was never about just selling homes. It was about creating opportunity for people. It's also about, specifically for the Hispanic community, it's about really letting them know that it is possible for them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are just like most first-time home buyers. They don't know that they can actually afford a home until they actually speak to someone. But I think for Hispanic families, it's even more difficult. They almost feel like they don't belong there, and they don't even want to have the conversation. So a lot of my Latino families, it's almost like you're almost like, come have a conversation with me, and then you open up a world of opportunities for them. And it truly does change the trajectory for their entire family, their kids, their future. I've seen it firsthand, and it's really beautiful.
Right. I love that. So the next thing is, have you faced challenges in the real estate industry as a Latina, and how have you overcome them? Now, I definitely know this, but we'll let you answer it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I have. And I think that real estate can feel very male dominated, and it can also feel like there is tons of shiny objects that you need to go after, and you need to spend all this money and have this, this sunset. What is it called? This reality show that people.
Selling sunset.
Selling sunset.
Yeah, you need to be that agent,
and you need to be that agent. When in reality is truly nothing like that. If you are truly doing real estate, it's very different. So I think early on, I definitely felt underestimated, and the way that you overcome that is by continuing to show up authentically and continuing to let your results deliver the message, and, you know, your track record do the talking almost. And there's nothing that you need to prove. If you stay true to who you are and you stay consistent, you love what you do, you know the purpose behind what you're doing, nobody can tell you anything. Nobody can dim your light away, or can dim your light.
Right.
And I think it's about, or for me, when I think about being Latina in this industry, it is not whatsoever a obstacle to overcome. For me, it's a strength. Latinos are projected to be a major driving force in homeownership, and I get to be part of helping my community achieve those big dreams and goals. Right. So it is not an obstacle whatsoever, and staying true to yourself and staying consistent, and again, letting your track record do the talking will help you overcome any feelings of feeling underestimated.
Right. Yeah, I think sometimes people can tend to fall under that imposter syndrome, and just knowing that sometimes it could feel a little isolating, but I feel like you definitely, I don't know that you've ever really felt that you've ever felt that way. So I think
imposter syndrome. Yes, I do. I know. You just have to fake it. You have to fake that you. I mean, I don't know. I think there is a real estate. It's so much about mindset. Like every single day, every single morning, I have to work on my mindset.
Yeah, you have to, for sure. Especially with the rolling markets that are always shifting and changing. And, mind has to be clear and open because you have to get more and more creative because markets are always shifting.
Yeah.
The people are always shifting. Generations are shifting. Now we're having baby boomers that are no longer booming anymore. So we have these like properties that people held on to for years and years and they lived in the same home. And now that's that's a whole nother like sector where these homes are starting to open up that have been in a family's hands for maybe 70 years, you know? Yeah. So I think that somebody who comes in with full heart and mindfulness is really important. And I think the thing with you about With Purpose, your real estate and the mindfulness behind it and you making it part of your name is that you also create such community and connection. Like to be able to be one of your clients, it's like you want to get them together for holidays. You want to provide things and spaces where they can also connect within your own sphere, right, that you've created. So can you speak about that? Because I think that's what's really, I know a lot of real estate agents do like popcorn in the movies and all that fun stuff, but it's like, I feel like you just do it in your very own unique way. And it's also very creative, but it also comes from a space of wanting to create that community and that connection.
Yes. Building community and building relationships has always been a big part of who I am. Like even from high school and college, just like starting groups and starting creating spaces for people to come together and to just like find other people that they can relate to. I think that's always been a big part of who I am. And then for our With Purpose Realty family, our clients, and even if you're not a client, you're just, you love real estate and you love educating yourself and you love how we go about the way that we do business. We create spaces for people to come together and create lasting memories. So something as simple as getting families together to take their holiday photos that they can use to share with their families. It's very important to us. But also creating educational opportunities. So we've had people come and talk to our clients about starting Airbnbs, putting together a trust, investing in other properties. And then you see your clients that years ago bought one home, then they have a new goal of, hey, I want to own an investment property. Or, hey, I want to open up an Airbnb. Hey, I want to build an ADU so that I can have an extra source of income. So, and that was always what it's all about. It wasn't just like, here's a house, see you never. It doesn't
here's my newsletter that you get that I don't even want.
Or that it's like an automated newsletter thing that was created. That just is not who we are. It's not. And I think that's so important when you do real estate. What is it that is important to you? How are you going to align your personal values to the way you run your business? And that, I think, helps people stay in real estate. It's a career that it's fast moving. And I think most people, there's like 40,000 realtors in San Diego County. And I think a lot of people quit in like the second year.
I still have my license and I'm not active right now, but I'm like, dude, that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but you have a passion, like a bigger passion than anything that I ever saw.
So for anyone starting, it's like, figure that out first and think about that first and don't lose yourself when you start this career. Don't try to copy someone else. Like it's just not going to work. It's like you have to bring it back to who you are and then making sure your values align with the way that you're running that business. Because you're a realtor and you have your license with a broker, but it is your own business.
Right. It is. Yeah. That's true.
And you are impacting directly another individual or a family. So
yeah, your vibe attracts your tribe for sure. Yes. Your vibe does attract that client. So that is something to think about if you're considering becoming an agent, things like that.
Yeah.
I guess I want to kind of leave off with you in my end of asking you questions. I do love that everything that you've said and knowing you, I think we're going on like 4 years now.
Yeah.
That I saw you really live and embody what you say you're doing. So for example, Laura has converted her home to have a little like ADU in it to bring in your mom to help support you and even just to even have just in general, right?
Yeah.
You've also have a property out in Julian. So you have an Airbnb. And then you also have another property that you've bought outside of the country.
Yeah.
So an international property. And then you also take that time to be mindfulness within yourself. So you and Rob take these long breaks in a sense. You're still working, but they're like you're honoring that Like real estate doesn't have to be a labor where you're slaving and you're this and you're that. Like you can still work with it and still have time to be a mom, to be a dad, to enjoy life. And what I also want to leave off with is your events are really fun and amazing. But if you go to one of Laura's private events, like with her friends and her family, it's the same vibe. It's literally like the same exact vibe. It's not like, one is just so like different and not as warm. It's like your events that you do for your clients are just the same energy and vibe that you do for your events that are like your birthdays or, your private family gatherings. And yeah, you and Rob together like throw the most fabulous parties. So anytime I get invited, I'm like, this is going to be super fun. Aww. And it's the same thing with your client events. So I love that just, a lot of people fake the funk and you're one of those that don't. And you're really true to your heart. You're true to your clients. And I think a lot of people don't see that because real estate can get real fake. Trust me, I've saw it. And it's really nice that you and Rob really do support each other and are a team. And I know you're growing your team, so that's exciting.
Yes. Well, thank you. That was a lot of beautiful compliments.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
You're
and
welcome.
Then, yes, for our events and our gatherings, it's like everyone feels like family and friends. And that is exactly what we want out of those events. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pass it on over to Val.
Yes. Thank you.
We're going to end off the interview on some really fun questions. Okay, Laura, so can you share what's one piece of advice you'd give to someone looking to navigate a competitive industry, like how you said it's super saturated, and to do it with authenticity because you just do it so well?
Well, thank you. I would say, number one, do not compare your year one or your day one with somebody's year 5, year 10 in this industry. Also, this industry is unfortunately full of highlight reels.
Oh, yes.
And lots of shiny objects and lots of selling sunset vibes.
Let's go.
And those are all fun and it's good for TV.
For
but
sure.
I think that this industry really could use more people that are going to stay true to who they are and who are going to show up authentically. Mm-hmm. I think in real estate, authenticity is so important. Like people are going to trust you when they know you're acting like who you are. And that's what's going to make people work with you, when they trust you. So I would say, I know it sounds cliche, be yourself, but it truly matters. And people can tell when you're not. Mm-hmm. Or then it just becomes this thing that you have to do, that you have to fake every single day. Yes. And you're going to resent your career and not going to want to be in it. So it's really, really important to know yourself and show up as that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such wonderful advice. I think straight into the point. I was going to say something and then I lost my thought. So we're not going to go there.
That's also good for, not just real estate. I feel like it's good for any industry.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Business in general is personal.
Yes.
So the better you know yourself, the better your business will be.
Yes,
I think.
100%.
Okay, we're going to do some rapid fire questions. Ooh. So I'm really excited. So what is your favorite architecture style?
Mid-century modern, 100%.
Ooh.
Yes. Yeah, the clean lines, seamless indoor-outdoor space living, the large glass.
Nice.
Chef's kiss.
Okay. It's on the Pinterest board.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit earlier about doing like your mindset work in every single day. So what is one motivational phrase that you go to that keeps you moving? I
am my ancestors' wildest dream. That is something that I think about so often. And I love it. It helps motivate me and it helps motivate what I do for my family. So.
Yes, I got chills. Ooh, especially for like Latina. Wow. Arlene got me saying Latina Hispanic Heritage Month. Excuse me. Yes. I think that's so powerful. I love it. Yes. And I was even thinking California is known for wildfire season. And I also think there's this beautiful song by, I think it's Natalia Lafourcade. And she talks about like even the seeds when they go through fire and go through like these tumultuous times, even then you can still have beautiful flowers and rebirth. Mm-hmm. So I love that. That's a very powerful motivational phrase.
Yeah. Use it. Everybody should use it.
Yes.
Every morning.
I'm going to now. What is one I mean, I don't know if you have one, but I'm assuming like there's all of these emotions and you have a lot on the line in real estate transactions because it's not you're representing yourself. You're also representing your clients or the sellers, whoever you are representing. So do you have any power moves that you use?
Power moves? Sorry, in what sense?
Either like a stance or like a saying or some kind of activity, like maybe a meditation or grounding, whatever it is that like gets you in that like, I'm going to kill this deal.
I mean, I will say in general, power move for me in real estate would be building community and relationships before ever considering pitching myself to anybody about my services. It's just, that is what, like Arlene said earlier, your vibe attracts your vibe attracts your vibe attracts your tribe. Sorry, that took me way too long. And I think it's so true. It's like, once you build that community, those relationships, the right people will come to you, and it's just a great way to work, and it's going to be a great experience overall. But yeah.
I love it. Where can people find you? Where do they go to look for the best real estate agent ever?
I love that. I communicate with most of my clients and new clients through Instagram.
Okay.
So Laura Realtor with Purpose on Instagram. I also post a lot of things about motherhood, lifestyle in San Diego, recommendations for San Diego, date nights. So it's not just all real estate. I am a person and I have multiple interests, multi-passionate, but I also love real estate. So you're going to find a lot of real estate education on there and also market updates that are not boring. So yeah, Instagram, it's definitely the best place.
Nice. And you have a San Diego moms community as well, right?
Yes. When I was pregnant, I wanted to have more friends that were going through the same things that I was going through. And I decided to just create a group to find a few friends. And it's grown into this beautiful community with, I believe, over 2,000 moms.
Wow.
Yes. It's very specific because we made it San Diego Moms with 2023 kids. Because it was so important for us to find people that were going through like very similar milestones. And then now, back then the conversations were all about, pregnancy, postpartum and things like newborn and things. And now we're talking about how to deal with toddlers, the terrible 2s and 3-nagers. And it's But if I didn't have that community, I would go a little crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I love that community and the friendships I've been able to make through it. So
amazing.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
Yes, I'm so glad. And we'll have more fabulous guests for you guys to enjoy. And go follow Laura on Instagram. Give her all of your questions about real estate, about buying a home as a first-gen buyer, about move-up buyers, whatever it is, she's got you covered.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Espiritu Coffee Chats.
We hope you enjoyed our conversation and found a little inspiration to take with you.
If you loved what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more.
Until next time, keep the spirit alive and the coffee brewing. Cheers! Ow, ow, ow.